Hi, Per Bristow here, and I am here chatting with Brioni Faith. Hi, Brioni.
Hey,
So,
how's it going?
this is really cool because I really want to talk with you here because I think it's going to be helpful for you who are watching this. Brioni is an amazing artist, songwriter, and she does a lot of cool stuff. And I think, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the production that you're doing, how you write the songs, and your voice, and how it all is coming about. It's cool stuff. So pay attention. We are going to get
Okay.
into the life of Brioni, right?
The whole life.
Yes, the whole life. No, but you write and you produce, and maybe we should start off by playing a little clip. Shall we? Shall we? Maybe
Sure.
that's a good starting point, and then we'll back
Okay.
up and see what's going on. But basically, you've released a song now. Well, you're releasing a bunch of songs soon, right? But this Skyscraper is now available.
Yes.
It's out there, and it's a really cool video also, right? So whatever style you're into now, you who are watching this, that's really not relevant. We want to talk about the creative process and how we can actually make things happen in life, right?
Exactly.
But just to play a little bit, this is Brioni's style, and we'll talk about that also. But check this out. Here it is, and then we'll come back and talk more about the process of getting things done and achieving the things that you want to achieve. Does that sound like good subject matter?
Sounds good.
All right, check this out.
Do you feel me now? 'Cause I'm reaching out. Can we make a vow that we're not leaving till we work this out? I believe in the power. Together we are stronger.
All right, that's a little teaser for you. And obviously you can go to her website, and on YouTube we're going to post the links here that you can go and really take a listen, but also watch the video. So there's a lot of creative stuff that's going on here, and that's going on behind the scenes that we may not realize also. So shall we start with this song and this project? How did that come about? And talk a little bit about the process and the struggles, and yeah, how did it come about?
Yeah. Cool. Well, funnily enough, this song in its beginning was actually written for a completely different piece of music. And yeah, I'm with a independent label, and my producer Brad and I work very closely together. And it was funny because I'd worked on these lyrics and this exact melody and for a completely different piece of music that someone had sort of passed on to us. And it just didn't quite gel 100%. And then there's another producer in Poland who we've sort of worked with before, Raphael, and he'd sent through something which, crazily enough, was in the same key. It had the same kind of tempo, but it just was right for this piece of music. So we went, oh wow, that's actually where this is supposed to fit, so there's no accidents, no, oh, this is, not right. It's just like finding its home. And yeah, so then after that, we sort of tend to do like a remix competition, and we branch out and do different versions of a song for a release. And yeah, so we branched out into the industrial sort of version is something that I particularly love, and getting industrial dancers involved, as you'll see in the video. It's
Yes.
yeah, inspiring stuff.
So this alone is really actually more fascinating than it may seem right now, because no, but seriously. So again, for you who are watching this now, it's not about Brioni's style, or it's about then how can we actually make things happen. So it's so interesting, the creative process here, that you might have an idea in the beginning, you think it's going somewhere, and then something else comes in and it becomes something new. And this is often what happens in life if we are open for it.
Absolutely. I mean, my very, very first song that I wrote, I've had this happen more than once, where I thought, okay, this was written, working with somebody else, and I went, but I really love the essence of what I've written here, but I just don't feel like that's the right piece of music. And then again, somebody else collaborating, hooking up, with Brad and getting the final product together. It was like, no, that's where it belongs. So it's just, the creative process exactly is not always about, here we are, start to finish, this is the end product. Sometimes it is, okay, a bit of this will meet up with a bit of that, and, you find the fusion of it all.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And I like to apply everything to other areas of life. So think about this, how that applies to life, right? To the ideas that we have, and then it's not working out, things aren't working out. But then if we bring in something over there, it's not that we've changed our minds, it's we bring in something new, and then, okay. It's amazing.
Yes.
So good for you. And you did something really interesting with this song then, that you put on Facebook, that you... Well, talk about that. The mix.
The remix. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's as an independent label, obviously we're looking at always different ways to branch out and connect with other producers and connect with other artists and so on. And so what we do every year or so with different releases, to an opportunity to be part of a release and actually get their name, onto an official release or a record label and that kind of thing. And the beauty of what
Brioni,
comes out of that.
Just one, because we broke up here a little bit, so I just want to make sure that people heard what you said then. So that, so you had asked other producers to come in, or other mixers, or whatever you call it, other producers?
Yeah, other producers, yeah.
To be able to then be part of the final product and therefore submit their ideas of remixes.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. And, we've done this for a while now, to the point where we have quite a few different producers sort of on the books that we might ask to do a remix for a different release, or, they might submit something and a new song is born out of it, So, it's a great way of networking, and also giving others a platform to kind of launch themselves from as well. So
do you have a bunch of different mixes of this song?
We do.
Are they
on my
going to be
website,
released, or?
They're all there, yeah. On my website, if you go to the Skyscrapers actual release, then there's a whole bunch of remixes there. And there's a really cool one where it sounds like I'm playing with a band. It's completely stripped down, and it's really cool.
That's cool.
So,
I didn't realize that you have them on the website. Okay.
It's all there.
Fantastic. And that is brionifaith.com, right?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Very
very cool. And but you only have one video.
For Skyscrapers, yeah.
Yes.
There's a bunch of other videos, but just this one. We just do one sort of video with the one release, because I do them myself. I have, a certain amount of time.
So talk about the very beginning of the process of when you write a song. How does you start writing a lyric, or you have a melody in your? How does?
Yeah, I think it's always different. Sometimes these days I do get sent through some music and see if something sort of gels with that. But if I'm just sort of sitting down to write something myself, it's very often, it's actually more about sitting down and working out some chord progression and kind of getting into the emotion and the feeling of that, because I'm someone who writes more from a perspective of a feeling, and I want to kind of get a message, or, if I really firmly believe in putting messages into the music. So that's where, if I don't feel it, or I can't sort of get a hold of the feeling inside the music, then it's not going to sort of connect for me. And that's where I'm really fortunate, where Brad, my producer, and I, we have a very similar vision, and where he will write music and I can sort of, connect with what's going on there, and vice versa. He can take what I write and enhance it and do these amazing orchestral mixes, which also brings out even more sort of feeling and emotion and what's going on there. So,
Let's talk a little bit about your voice also, because I know you value your voice a lot, and you actually
Oh yes.
train a lot, which is how we got to know each other in the first place.
Yeah.
But you started playing the piano.
I did, yeah, right from the age of 4. I did sort of get into piano lessons and all of that. And, for a very long time, just considered myself to be a piano player. That was my identity as far as music went. And singing was something that I didn't take that seriously in the beginning, but I was always sort of doing it a little bit. And it was pretty funny where sort of later on, I overheard a friend saying to somebody, she's actually a better singer than she is a piano player. And I was like, what? How dare you, And then I thought, well, hang on a minute. What is, I kind of value myself as a piano player. What is it that maybe that I should pay attention to the singing a little bit more, And, so I got a little more serious about it and started thinking, okay, start working on my voice and so on, and then found you and so on, and started getting more into actually sort of developing and becoming that mindful, sort of getting into a mindful kind of practice and that sort of thing. And to me, what has made the biggest difference for me would be actually getting into a almost everyday kind of practice. And I was so resistant in the beginning. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to, practice and do it's like homework, kind of thing. But
what in the beginning of what? When you did
in the beginning of
or?
kind of like when I'm, starting to take it a bit more seriously and go, okay, I really want to develop my voice. I want to grow my voice. And, I'm thinking, I want to do it, but I just don't want to be, practicing scales and doing this and stuff every day. But it's like, well, hang on a minute. You don't have to have that mindset about it. It's actually what I found was just giving myself that time, 5-6 days a week, spend an hour or two, but just getting in that space with your voice, being mindful, getting involved with your breath and focusing on your breath, and just it's so meditative, and it really does bring you into your body, and it's very grounding. It's almost like the rest of the day disappears. You're in the moment with yourself, and then opening up that mindfulness, and I'd start writing down every day, like, oh, I'm feeling this, or, okay, I need to focus on that, and just kind of getting into that space of practicing becoming fun. And building a momentum and just actually looking forward to it. And it's like, if I miss a day, I really miss it. It's like, I can't wait to get in there the next day and keep that momentum going, basically.
This is brilliant. I love this. Because as you know, this is, of course, what I encourage also, that we instead of having this mindset, I'm supposed to do this and this and this every single day, but that we actually go into that space where, I'm discovering, I'm exploring. It's not necessarily about right or wrong and not hitting the notes. And were you really upset when I wasn't promoting scales?
Not at all. No, but at the same time, it was like, for me, obviously I do exercises and all of that, and then I'm practicing my own songs, or I'm going from one sort of less structured into more structured kind of thing, but working on and what really worked for me was writing down, okay, what worked really well, what didn't work, and what do I need to focus on, so I'm sort of, if you go, oh, I really nailed that song, just practicing that, then rather than get elated with myself, just kind of bring it back to balance, and so that I'm going, okay, well, I can still feel that I need to relax this more or that, so the next day you're going in with the kind of clear intention of what areas you want to focus on, and just keep growing rather than, focusing too much on positive, negative, just keep moving forward.
Yes, brilliant. So ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a couple of very important, interesting things that have come up now. First of all, that you actually are a person who practices, and therefore that is obviously how we get results. But it's not just practicing and spending time, it is actually then that you're getting into this state, feeling, exploration, where actually it becomes a very enjoyable experience in and of itself, which I would argue is probably makes you more productive and more creative during the rest of the day. That's
absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say that just through getting into that sort of practice, I've been writing more, more ideas coming up, and just things. It does pick up the momentum in every area. You're absolutely right. I hadn't really thought about that actually, because just even the amount that I'm writing and producing and all of that, just by the momentum of devoting your intention and your energy to creating and working on your voice, it absolutely generates more productivity, definitely.
Yes. I mean, if we're going to achieve things in life, we have to have some kind of practice where we actually are training our focus, training our ability to be in the moment, to get in the zone, and to be a performer. You have to be able to do that. And as you know, a lot of what I do is that peak performance training, how we actually get into that zone, if you will, in the flow state, which is also the state of creativity. So the fact that you actually have become engaged in this is also why you have become good at it, which you then can then transfer into life, on stage, and so forth. So you're actually practicing a lot of things. You're not just practicing the voice. You're actually practicing your mind, your awareness, your physical, mental, emotional awareness. So it's a really, really cool thing. And like you said, then the momentum actually makes it fun. So before we started this conversation, then we talked about that those who have been members of the Singing Zone, then about the article, The Power of Momentum.
Absolutely.
So, and it's so interesting then that when we get into that, it actually feeds the desire to want to do more.
It really does.
And part of that has to do with chemicals also. We're creating the dopamine, the reward, and then we want to do more of it, so forth. So we want to use all of that stuff.
It's a healthy habit to get addicted to.
right. Exactly, right. So there's a lot of benefits to that. So good for you that you're not just practicing. It's not the struggle, but you're actually making it into a creative process right there. Very cool.
That's it.
Very cool. What do you feel in your voice then? I mean, it's different from day to day. How do you feel it has developed?
I definitely notice the strength, the stamina. That's been probably the biggest. There's definitely a different freedom, the openness of my throat and that sort of thing. But yeah, definitely the strength and stamina. Like I know that, I don't know, years ago I did have the point where I'd get hoarse and I would sing till I get hoarse because I was just carrying all this tension. I was singing with a lot of tension, and didn't realize it. It was just, I was untrained. I did not have, any technique and that kind of thing. So there's been a definite learning curve of breaking some old habits for me, which is great, and that I think even in itself, like, I think when I came across your program and all of that, and I'm thinking, I've just got to get rid of singing with tension. I can feel it's there, and it's going, how is this possible? It's just such an ingrained habit. But just that action of practicing every day and becoming mindful and feeling the difference, it's like once you catch on to that feeling of what is different, then you go, okay, I'm aiming for that. I know what that feels like now, and you build on that. And then that does, like, you build muscle memory, it becomes natural and so on. So it is something to be patient with and persevere with. But, it is so rewarding and fulfilling when you start to hear your voice actually open up, become freer, and then you're singing for an hour or two and it's like you have just started. So, yeah, I think I'm living testimony.
Well, that's wonderful, because again it ties into that creative process. I mean, if we get tired after 10 minutes, how much are we going to be able to explore and create, right? You want to try things. You want to sing different ways. You want to, if you're recording, you want to do many different takes. Not just because you have to, but because you want to, because it's fun. I want to try something new, something different. And of course, if we don't have the fundamental stamina to be able to do that, it's not as fun. We can't explore. Then we get into that mindset. I just need to do it right, because if I don't get it by the third take, I'm not. That's a different kind of pressure.
Yeah. I've been in that situation. Like, I'm not getting it.
Right. Exactly. Talk about stress, right?
Yeah. No. So. Exactly. The more you can encourage or, like, I guess, practice that art of being in the moment when you are singing, then you can take that into a recording studio. You can take that onto stage, and you can, definitely. It's like it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, you're centered within yourself, within your voice, when you encourage and nurture that kind of space.
Yeah. Great. So what's happening now then? So you're releasing more songs are happening soon here. What's the plan?
Well, I released my first album last year, which was very exciting.
Awesome. Congratulations,
so
by
now,
the way.
Thank you. Yes, and so now we're basically working towards the next album. So Skyscrapers will be part of the next album. And, you know, it's interesting sort of journey that I've been on through this because, as I've mentioned, being with an independent label, you know, a lot of it is on me and on us to kind of, you know, get yourself out there. So YouTube has been like my best friend as far as, you know, exposure and that kind of thing has gone. The video clips and getting dancers involved and everything like that has been amazing. And so what I've found through that, and YouTube is great for this, is telling you where your audience is. You know, so a lot of my views and things might come from the US, Germany, Mexico, and all of that. But, you know, I might not be quite ready to do and pay for a world tour just at the moment.
Soon.
But, soon, that's right. But, you know, the beauty of the day and age we live in is that we have, you know, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. We can start to actually utilize these sorts of resources and get out there and start doing live performance that way.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
yeah, that's something that we're doing a lot of research and development on at the moment, kind of building up what I want to be like a live show, live broadcast in that way. So,
well, that's great. And that is, in a sense, the beauty of the world right now, that we can actually reach people all over the world without having to travel. But that also gives you the opportunity to travel, which is kind of what I've done with doing my events after I built an audience. And and soon you'll be going on your world tour.
That's it. That's the plan.
Right, people? Don't you want to see Brioni coming to your country? And we never said that in the video that you are in Australia.
That's right. Might have got the accent, but that's
people didn't understand that in the first place. It'll probably be in the text above the video here. So very cool. All right, we're putting the links here. Go to YouTube. Brioni's YouTube channel and also her website. Facebook is probably linked from the website, right? Go there.
Yes.
Follow her. Enjoy her music. Help her build the audience and look forward when she's coming to your city soon, or when the next songs are coming out, especially. That's what we're looking forward to first now, anyway. Brilliant. Yes. Well, congratulations. You amazing progress.
Thank you.
In the last year or so. Last year, really.
Yeah.
So really super exciting. Good stuff. All right.
Cool.
Thank you. Any last words for people who are watching, who want to produce their songs, who want to get out there? Yeah,
I would say, you know, I believe that everyone, especially, you know, people who are looking to grow their voice and, you know, take singing to another level, or even for yourself or whatever your sort of reason may be, I really believe that everyone has a message, and that, you know, really it's so worth getting into this and believe in yourself and really back yourself. You know, set a goal. If you want to record something, like, let yourself have permission to just do something, create something, and, you know, you never know what might unfold out of that. But most of all, I think do it for yourself, because there's a quote that I really love from the late amazing Dr. Wayne Dyer, and it really sparked something in me. It was like, don't die with the music still inside you. And, you know, I really believe that for anybody who's already drawn to this, you're already, you know, musical, you're singing, you know, give yourself permission to just really go for it and do something and express yourself. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
As always, see you.